Creating your reality. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Counsil. We are pleased to connect with all of you. In the creating of any circumstance that you are living, you take into consideration everything that you can possibly take into consideration. You are thorough when you consider what it is that you actually want to create, but there is always more to the story than what you want. And sometimes your desires can cloud your vision. Sometimes you can find yourself desiring something that actually does not serve you, and that is because you cannot see the bigger picture. You cannot see all the angles from your vantage point, and therefore at times you will call into question your abilities as creator beings, or you will question whether you actually do create your reality. What you create is always what serves you most. Now at times what serves you most is also in alignment with what you desire from your egoic perspective. At other times there is something more for you that you can only receive by not getting what you want. And so we suggest that you always see yourself as master creator beings. And we also suggest that you look around for what is about your current creation that you can now see is serving you better than what you originally desired. Your growth is inevitable. You are expanding, and you are becoming every single day. But there are circumstances that will accelerate that growth, and those are always the circumstances that you will create. And so it is because your primary creation is always you. You are the big prize, and when you look within yourself and you acknowledge that, well, then you can see the bigger picture. Then you can see why you have created what you have created for yourself, and why you have not created certain conditions and circumstances at which you once desired. Make peace with all of your creations, and know that everything serves your greatest and highest good. Predicting your future. You are able to predict the future of your experience by paying closer attention to the energy that you are giving off in the now moment. You can predict it because you are creating it, and it behooves you to accurately read your own energy. So if that is something that you're interested in, we suggest that you start reading your own energy. Take your energetic temperature several times throughout the day to determine for yourself what it is that you are aligning with. Feel your future now. Now, if you are afraid of something that is coming up in the future, then it is important for you to move through that fear in the present. You want to have processed that fear before you arrive at the time and place of the event you are so afraid of. You can take that energetic temperature, and then you can clean house. When you clean house, you get rid of that which no longer serves you, and you make room for more of what does serve you. That is how you begin the process of creating your future. You create your future in your present. More importantly, though, you are creating the present. The present stretches itself out to become your experience of a future moment. Because you can only live in the present, it is so much more important that you take care of your energetic house in the present than that you attempt to manipulate events and people and anything else that you can control to assure you a better future. Start now. Start creating the future that you would like to see in the now moment. And remember that any future experience that has been foretold does not have to come to fruition. When you are vibrational matched to the future moment, you align yourself with that prediction. If you want better predictions for your future, start by taking care of your now and predict your own future by creating it. You do so with the vibration that you are holding in this now moment. 3 small steps. You have the ability to bring yourselves into a higher frequency state much more often than you actually do. The things that you can do to naturally bring yourself into a higher frequency state are not a mystery to you. You know what they are, but instead you often will stay in a lower frequency state in order to fix something or to think it through. Thoughts and actions are the ways that you have chosen to get yourself out of a lower frequency state of being more often than not. The steps that you can take to raise your vibrations hardly even qualify as steps. You can breathe, you can focus, and you can meditate. You can do all these things without moving very much at all, and they are the most effective, the most tried and true practices that you have available to you. Focus on how you feel, rather than trying to think your way out of the feeling. Breathe your way through the experience you are having of the lower frequency state and meditate to bring yourself to a calm equilibrium. From there, it is quite easy to go from the calm, neutral, balanced state to a higher frequency state. You often need to remind yourselves of the importance of taking these very small steps because the rest of the world is trying very hard to think and act and speak their way in a better feeling state, or at least out of the problematic situations that they have created. You all who are awakened can lead by the power of your example, and you can do so much good for so many by taking those small steps to raising your own vibration. The rest of the collective will come along, but you are the leaders. You are the ones who know that what we are saying is true. So we are here to remind you of that and to remind you of how easy it is to feel better and to be powerful leaders in your community. Claim your creations. It is the perfect time for all of you to stand on your own 2 feet, look out into the universe, claiming it as your creation. We also suggest that you see the universe as a projection of your consciousness that is also colored by the lens of your perception of it. We know that you have heard about these truths before, but what you may not have been considering is which aspect of you has been doing the creating of your reality. And you may also be unclear about how much of the circumstance that you have been living were predetermined by you prior to your birth. It is true that when the ego gets hold of this information, it wants what it wants. Like a kid in a candy store, the ego runs wild and sets out to create everything that it has ever wanted. And that approach to creating your reality does serve you. That is why that information is given to the ego, but what you really want to do, what you really want to demonstrate to yourself is your ability to create your experience of reality in the way that you want to create it. Everything is about your perception of it and what you are willing to make out of it. Given your circumstances, how can you shift your perception of reality right now to actually change it? You are changing your experience of it and therefore creating it. Now, your higher self has been the aspect of you that has been creating your reality at times in conjunction of the ego, and at times in spite of it. What can you do then to create your reality in the truest and fullest meaning of that statement? You can merge your ego with your higher self, and you can become the reality you are creating. When you see yourselves in that state of oneness, you truly have everything that you, on all levels of your being, could ever desire. The effectiveness of action. We have let ourselves observe the consequence of every action taken by every single human for an entire 24-hour period. And we did this because we wanted to see the effectiveness of your actions. We wanted to measure, objectively, what you are getting out of the actions that you have taken. And there's something peculiar that we have noticed about the actions that you take. They are mostly done without really examining what it is that you are doing. They are often done without having set an intention for them. Many of the actions you take are habitual and therefore meaningless to you. So there is less attempting to utilize action for personal gain going on than you might think. Most of your actions are taken out of a sense of duty or obligation. Some are taken to cover up feelings, and those are the ones that we want to talk to you about here. When you take an action because you want to avoid feeling a feeling, you are really engaging in some ineffective behavior. You look to action at times to compensate for something, but as many of you have noted, there aren't enough hours in a day to give you the opportunity to take enough action to compensate for something that is happening deep down inside of you. And so here is our recommendation for all of you. Observe your own actions. Be present and mindful when you take an action. Know what the action is meant to accomplish for you, and be aware of the vibration that you are infusing the action with. If you do nothing to change your vibration, then no amount of action taken from that vibration is going to change your circumstance. In fact, in order to serve you better, many of those actions will get you further into a hole, because it's only when you hit rock bottom that you are willing to look at the vibration that you are holding. The vibration, that is the heart of the action that you have been taking. When you look at, feel, and raise your vibration, that is when your actions become most effective. No challenge too big. We are able to respond to individual requests that you make, and we are responding to the request that you make as a human collective. And if you can imagine the quantity of requests that we get, you must realize that humanity keeps us quite busy. But this is what we do. We help humans, and we also help other beings from all across the galaxy. If it is your singular purpose to do something, if you remain focused, then no task is too large. And ultimately, by helping you, we become more of ourselves, which is what we are after in terms of the experience that we desire. Now, we tell you this because we want you to understand that no matter what you are facing in your life, No matter how big the challenge, no matter how insurmountable the task, you can achieve what you want to achieve. It does require you to focus, and you also must open yourself up to receiving, to be in the flow, to stay in the flow, and to welcome in what you have created with open arms. We can help you by getting you to focus, by giving you the energy that you need to accomplish what you want to accomplish, and by reminding you of the fact that you create everything. You create all of it, and you get to create it in the way that you want to experience it. We also want to add that we are not the only ones hearing your request. As big and as capable as we are, Source is much bigger and capable of handling all requests across all universes. So we just want to remind you that Source is also listening, hearing, and responding. And with a little focus and a lot of allowing and receiving, you can bring yourself to whatever experience you want to have. We are the Arcturian Counsil, and we have enjoyed connecting with you.